All right, let's settle a classic debate. It's one of those matchups you've probably thought about. A Formula One car versus a fighter jet. We're talking about two of the most insane pieces of engineering on the planet. One, the king of ground-based agility. The other, well, the undisputed master of the skies.
So let's just cut to the chase. You'll line them up on a runway, side by side. A pure, straight-line drag race. Who takes it? An F1 car or a fighter jet? And your gut might tell you one thing, but the answer? It's probably not what you're thinking. And the physics behind why? Well, that's where things get really cool.
Okay, let's look at the tail of the tape here. Right off the bat, things get weird. The F1 car weighs, less than 2,000 pounds? The jet is over 30,000. And look at that 0 to 60 time. The F1 car smokes it. We're talking about 2.6 seconds. That is just ridiculous. The jet is a whole second, maybe more, behind. But then you look at top speed. And yeah, the jet is just on another planet. 230 miles per hour versus 1,650. So what on earth is going on?
And hey, this isn't just a thought experiment. It's not just numbers on a page. This has actually been done. And when you see it happen in the real world, a really clear pattern starts to emerge. Turns out, for the first few seconds, ground beats sky every time.
Yeah, people have been racing these things for years. You've got Michael Schumacher and his Ferrari going up against a Typhoon jet. You've got Daniel Ricciardo and a Red Bull against an FA-18 Hornet. And the result is always the same. The light goes green, and that F1 car just launches. It absolutely rockets off the line, leaving the jet kind of sitting there for a couple of seconds. It's not a one-off thing. This is pure physics in action.
So what gives? I mean, the jet has an insane amount of power, right? Way more than the car, but for some reason, it just can't put it down at a standstill. The big question we've got to answer isn't which one has more power, it's why can't the jet use its power right away? It all comes down to the physics of getting that power to the ground, or in the jet's case, into the air.
And that brings us to the first huge piece of the puzzle, the power delivery problem. This is where we see the difference between a high-tech gearbox and just raw jet thrust. Okay, to really get why the jet is so sluggish at the start, we got to talk about something called propulsive efficiency. Basically, a jet engine works by sucking in air and blasting it out the back at insane speeds. Now that's great when you're already moving fast, but when you're sitting still, it's actually a terrible, super inefficient way to get moving. Think about it. The engine is working its hardest right at the moment it's least effective. It's at its absolute worst right at the starting line.
Here's the key difference. The F1 car has a gearbox. It can drop into first gear, which multiplies the engine's power like crazy and just explode off the line. It keeps the engine right in that sweet spot where it's making maximum power. A jet engine? It has no gears. It's basically stuck in top gear all the time. It's exactly like trying to start a 10-speed bike in its highest gear. You're pedaling like a maniac, but you're barely moving. All that energy is just wasted. The car is pushing against solid asphalt. The jet is trying to push against thin air.
But, how they make power is only half the story. The other massive difference is in their aerodynamics. I mean, these two machines have completely, and I mean completely opposite goals. One is designed to create downforce. The other is designed to create lift.
And this is the perfect way to think about it. An F1 car is, for all intents and purposes, an upside-down airplane. Every single wing and curvy bit on that car is designed to do the exact opposite of what a plane's wing does. Instead of lifting it up, it's trying to suck it down, to literally glue it to the racetrack. All that force pushing down on the tires creates an insane amount of grip.
So you end up with two totally different design philosophies. The F1 car is all about grip. It willingly accepts a ton of aerodynamic drag as a penalty just to get more downforce. That drag is a big reason why it hits a wall at around 230 miles per hour. The fighter jet, it's the complete opposite. It's designed to be as slippery as possible through the air, especially at high altitudes. Its whole goal is to minimize drag so that its monster engine can push it past the sound barrier to, ridiculous speeds.
Okay, so the machines are obviously incredible. But what about the people inside them? Because the differences don't stop with the engineering. The demands on the human body, they're just on another level. Let's talk about the incredible athletes who have to pilot these things.
And this really is a human endurance test. Trying to control one of these monsters isn't just about being a good driver or pilot. It's a physical battle against the laws of physics, a fight to survive some truly mind-bending G-forces.
So if we just look at the numbers, you'd think the fighter pilot has it way worse, right? They're pulling up to 9 Gs, while the F1 driver only hits about 6.5. But, and this is a big but, that one number doesn't tell you the whole story, not even close. It's the kind of G-force they're feeling that makes all the difference.
Think about it like this. An F1 driver is getting thrown around like a rag doll. They get slammed sideways with brutal force in every corner, then thrown forward under braking. It's this constant, violent, back-and-forth abuse, lap after lap after lap. A fighter pilot deals with something different. It's a sustained, crushing vertical force. Imagine the G's trying to literally pull all the blood from your brain down into your legs and holding it there.
So how do pilots not just pass out? Well, they have a secret weapon, the G-suit. It's this amazing piece of gear that, as soon as they start pulling heavy G's, automatically inflates. It squeezes their legs and stomach really, really hard. And what that does is physically stop the blood from rushing out of their head. It keeps them conscious. It's an absolutely essential tool for a pilot, but it's something an F1 driver doesn't need, just because the kind of force they're fighting is totally different.
So what's the bottom line here? Both of these people are elite, world-class athletes, just trained for different things. F1 drivers have these massive necks and core muscles to survive being thrown around in an open cockpit, dealing with crazy heat and wind. Fighter pilots, they might be in a comfy, pressurized cabin, but they have to train their bodies to consciously fight against those crushing G-forces. We're talking about the absolute peak of human performance.
All right, so we've looked at the engines, the aerodynamics, and even the incredible humans inside. So what's the verdict? Who actually wins? Who's the real king of speed? Well, the truth is, they're both kings, just of very different kingdoms.
And this really breaks it all down, doesn't it? The F1 car is the undisputed champion of the ground. Its whole deal is that insane launch and a crazy amount of grip in the corners. But its kryptonite is that aerodynamic drag. Then you have the fighter jet, the master of the air. Its advantage is just relentless sustained power and a top speed that's untouchable. But its big weakness, that horrible inefficiency right at the start.
You know, I don't think anyone's ever put it better than F1 driver Daniel Ricciardo. After he raced that FA-18 Hornet, he said this. He launched off the line, got a huge lead, and then the jet hit its sweet spot, lit the afterburners, and just disappeared. He said it made the 1,000+ horsepower in his F1 car feel low level. That just tells you everything you need to know about the kind of power we're talking about.
So there you have it. That's the answer. The F1 car wins the sprint. Off the line for the first few hundred meters, it's no contest. But the fighter jet, it always wins the marathon. It just goes to show you that speed isn't just one thing. It's all about where you are and what you're trying to accomplish.
And that kind of leaves us with one last really cool question. We've been comparing the best of the best from today, but technology isn't standing still, right? F1 is moving toward new power units and aviation is moving toward hypersonic flight. So what's the next great race gonna be? What are the matchups that will completely redefine what we even think of as fast?